I cook a lot of recipes, but there is one recipe that I come back to when I have a bit of a flu, if I have a bit of a cold, if I'm not feeling so well, if I'm a bit down in the dumps, and it is this chicken dumpling soup for the soul. Little tender little dumplings of chicken plopped into a rich chicken stock with carrots and celery and onions, and best of all, of course, as usual, it is super easy to make. And it starts off by making these little dumplings. I'm going to use chicken thigh meat to make the dumplings. So this goes into a food processor alongside a little touch of salt and pepper. And I'm just going to blitz this up until I have a nice smooth paste of chicken that I can form these little dumpling balls with. I'm going to transfer this out now into a bowl and just get the majority of the chicken in there. So I have my minced chicken. I'm going to chop up some chives and I'm going to chop up some parsley just to get some really great flavor going on in there. So just a nice little fine chop on these chives. And then to our chive action, I'm going with a handful or so of flat leaf parsley as well. I always remember if I was ever sick at home after school, this would be the type of soup my mom would force me to drink. And at the time, I don't think I really ever wanted to drink it, but it's the sort of thing now when you're a little bit older that you crave on days that you get a bit sick and your mom's not there. And she won't cook you the soup anymore because you're so far away, so far, far away. But it's okay because you can make it yourself, so that's fine. Parsley goes in, give it a good mix through, just for that herbage to get on in there. Oh, and I've nearly forgotten, just to bring this and to bind this, I'm adding some wholemeal flour. So just work that flour into the chicken alongside those herbs. And like I said, it's all about subtle flavors here. There's nothing too overpowering. I suppose the only strong flavor in here is a touch of black pepper. So it's really about subtle flavors with this soup. Right, once you have this mixed all the way through, it's just a case of picking up little amounts of the chicken and rolling them into balls. Good. I've made plenty of chicken soups over the years, but this is one of my favorites because you get those little chicken dumpling balls in there and they're just wonderful to bite. So now it's just a case of rolling up your balls. Right, I've got all my little balls nicely rolled up and I have ones that have been sitting in the fridge for about 15 minutes and now it is time to get them cooked in our soup. But first things first, I'm doing a little clear down and I'm degunging my hands. Now, to make this soup, I have a pot over a nice little heat. I'm going to add a touch of olive oil. And this is a really quick base for a soup that starts off with some onions, carrots and celery straight into the pot alongside some carrots and some celery. And this sofrito, this classic combination of onion, celery, carrots are going to give you this wonderful sweetness and a sort of depth to this soup. So just mix this through. While they're frying off, just to encourage the onions to kind of release a little bit of the water, I'm going to add a touch of salt and a crack of black pepper just for that tiny touch of spice. So just soften this down to the point of the onions almost becoming translucent and the carrots having a nice tender bite to them. Okay, this is looking pretty good. My carrots are nice and tender. So I'm going to get straight in there with some chicken stock. Now let's talk chicken stock. There's a whole host of different things you can use here, mainly chicken stock, but one element of it is whether you use homemade or store-bought. I would suggest if you have the time, you boil down some chicken carcasses with the bones and of course take the time to reduce them down and get all that flavor out of them. But if you don't have that time and you just need to crack on, a little bit of shop-bought stuff will do, but do look for the best quality. It's something that as an ingredient you should spend a bit more money on. This is now at a nice steady boil, so it's just a case of plopping them on in. If they come off the, oh, there they go, plopping in. Try and do this gently. Get your dumplings in there, and then once they're in there, they're only gonna cook for about 5 minutes, just until that chicken is cooked all the way through. And as soon as they are there, it's time to serve up. Right, this is looking good. My dumplings have held their shape, and that's down to that touch of flour that's in there. And I'm just gonna scoop up some of this And you can imagine if you're sitting in bed and you need that instant hit of comfort, that this is going to do the job. I mean, just look at how gorgeous those dumplings are. It looks so good, and you don't need too much else to it, bar to garnish it with just a little bit of parsley just in and around, just to give it a bit of hit of freshness. And then, while it's still warm like this, take up a tiny touch of that chicken dumpling, a little bit of carrot, and because it's a soup, you need to give it a little blow. Add a little one more, and one for luck. What can I say? It's delicious. That is a simple little method to make a chicken dumpling soup for the soul. Now, if you want the recipe, of course, you will get it on my website. I'll leave a link in the box below. Leave me a comment and let me know your favorite comfort food. And if chicken soup is yours, I would love to know. And what else do you need to do? Oh, give me a like. And of course, share this video with all your friends. Anyone who's sick at the moment, this would be the perfect recipe to send them. Maybe they might cook it up for themselves, or maybe someone would cook it up for them, or maybe you'd cook it up for them. It's all up to you, my friends. Enjoy this soup, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Okay, this has come up to the boil. Okay, we're at our the boil. Right, here we go. Because you get that little satisfaction of having a ball to bite.